Very excited to be talking to our next guest. This guy's one of the finest boxers on the planet. Trains right down here in South Florida. He's the Hammer. Erickson Lubin joining us. Thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate it. Good talking to you.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So first of all, let's just start out. How are you? I mean, like that was a brutal battle that you were in, man. Crazy to see what you were able to push through in that fight. How is your recovery going? How is everything going?
I mean, it was a great fight. It was a great fight. You know, kudos to Sebastian Fundora. You know, we put on a great show for the fans. But you know, the injuries that I had during the fight, you know, I'm pretty much healed from them all. But you know, I'm just doing a little bit of therapy on my shoulder right now, just to be 100% when I go back in the ring the next time.
How much of what were you pushing through in that fight? Can you kind of give us a description of what you were going through?
First of all, I was fighting somebody 6'7".
Yes.
You know, that was a challenge right there for me. So, you know, in the fight, I tore my shoulder. I actually separated the AC joint, and I had to just fight through that. I was fighting the guy 6'7". I had to just adjust as the fight went on. You know, because he was young and hungry. He could fight, and he had a whole bunch of energy. So, you know, I trained really hard. I had a great training camp. You know, I was definitely ready for the fight. But, you know, due to the injuries, you know, my corner had to stop the fight. It was just the injuries. I was up on the scorecards. But, you know, I was injured, and then, you know, my face was bad. It was bad. Swollen.
The injuries were nuts. It was crazy to see what you were going through. Did you have to like wrestle with your corner at all with that? Like afterwards, were you happy that they stopped it? Because I've heard in the past, like some fighters, they don't like the fact, like you want to go out on your shield. I know your trainer Kevin Cunningham cares about you a lot.
Yeah.
And so, was there any animosity, even in the short brief afterwards, or did you appreciate it because you knew that you were going through a lot and you were dealing with a lot?
Yeah, I was definitely going through a lot, you know, as the fight was going on. But, you know, me with the fighter spirit that I have, I would have definitely finished the 12 rounds. But, you know, my trainer, he saw something, and, you know, he just saw my face was too swollen, and, you know, I had too many injuries, and then my shoulder was out, and he seen that the 9th round. He actually saw it, like he knew there was like another injury. He was like, something's wrong. He was telling me that the other day. So he decided to stop the fight, and I don't blame him. You know, he's looking out for my safety, and, you know, we'll get him next time for sure. You know, if they come with a rematch, we'll definitely be ready for that. We're still looking for all the top guys. We're not trying to fight, you know, any tune-up fights, you know, just because we coming off a loss. You know, we're still trying to fight the top guys and become champion.
Well, that's the thing that's always impressed me about you is like you have taken challenges on of the best guys from a very young age. Like you're only 26 right now. You were doing this back. You were 22. You were taking on some of the best guys on the planet. Like why do you go that route? Some guys, they wait until they're 30, 40 fights in before they're going and absolutely taking on the big challenge. You like I remember when this fight came out, I'm like, man, like Lubin's on the doorstep. I think he'll beat Fundora, but Fundora, like you said, is a crazy matchup because he in your weight class is 6'7". So like why do you take on crazy matchups like that when guys would take easier routes, just get mandatories, just get, you know, kind of push their way to the title?
That's just the competitive spirit that I have. I'm very competitive, and I want to be the best. So you got to fight the best and beat the best to become the best. So that's my mindset. Like I got that Marvin Hagler type spirit. Like, you know, Kevin instilled that in me too. Like, you know, I've been with Kevin for a few years, and he want to win just as bad as I do. But, you know, it took a lot for him to actually go and stop the fight because I know how competitive he is. So it took a lot for him to do that. But he never really seen nobody that swollen in his face like that. So, and then, you know, my cut man, he couldn't really do much. He told us in the corner, he was like, yo, I can't really do much. You know, with a little bit of the injury, you know, off of me a little bit, maybe I could have finished the fight, or, you know, you never know what would have happened. But, you know, it was just too many injuries at once.
How was the asset? Like, did you crack anything? Like,
I just had a hairline fracture in my nose.
Okay.
I just had a hairline fracture, but I was just a little bubbly everywhere else.
So we have you in here because May is a mental health awareness month, and so something that's really important to you. Boxers, you guys make it it's a crazy way to make a living. I mean,
it is.
It's one of the things that I marvel with all of you guys because, you know, the climb up that you guys have, and then I imagine even after losses, like everybody loves you when you're on top,
right?
And then it's kind of rats off a ship as soon as you take a loss, like so. what are some of the mental things and some of the mental hurdles, like, even recently, just after taking a tough loss like that you do go through?
Right.
Do you handle them better now than you did when you were younger, and the Charlo loss? Like, how have you gone and grown through all that stuff?
Well, with the Charlo loss, I feel like I was a little bit more hurt by it, and I was a little bit more sad about the, taking the L. But with the Fundora loss, it was a little bit different for me because, instead of getting a whole bunch of hate, but there's still hate out there, but instead of getting a whole bunch of it, I got a lot of love. It felt like a win almost. I'm not saying it was a win, but it felt like it. Like the people came at me and it was telling me I'm a warrior and telling me, I'm still gonna be a world champion. I'm still gonna be on top of this division, and they can't wait to see me fight again. So, dealing with mental health for me during the Charlo fight and this time, this loss, it's been really different. But I've been able to handle both, and that's why I'm still here.
Is that something throughout your career you've grown with? Like, do you do any like mental coaching? Do you do anything of like, just kind of, do you have anything to decompress from fighting? Like that just helps you deal with having to get punched in the face and punching people in the face for a living, training, all the hardships that you guys do physically. Like, do you do things that help you just, relax your mind with all the things you go through?
Yeah, I like to hang out with my kids. I like to hang out with my kids and just have them around me. My son, he's 4 years old. I got an 8-month-old daughter. And it's fun hanging out with my kids, honestly. That helps me like just get away from everything. It's like an escape. Just be me and my kids. It feels fun. It feels good. To be a good father to my kids. So that's what I do. Get away from boxing, decompress from boxing, or I hang out with family, or I go see my mom in New York. I'm actually going to go to New York to see the Gervonta Davis versus Romero fight this weekend. Go see my mom while I'm out there.
Yeah, man. So, kids don't care. Like they want daddy time no matter what.
Yeah.
That's no matter what you're going through. And it's a good thing too, because it kind of like it puts you on this playing field of like, what, they just want love. They don't really care what you've done at work or what your record is or nothing. Like they just wanna have fun. And especially I can imagine 4-year-old. I got a 6-year-old boy, probably just wants to roughhouse, do some crazy ninja stuff, jumping off the couch and things like that. So that stuff will always it always will bring a smile to your face for sure.
Absolutely.
The training that you guys did for this upcoming, you guys you left South Florida because you guys have been doing a lot of training in Delray and all over South Florida, but did you guys go to like the mountains or something like that for this one?
We went to Vegas. This last camp. Was running the mountains, Mount Charleston. Just the elevation is different from over here, so, and that's where the fight was. Ironically, we went to camp way before the fight was even announced, and we got to negotiating the fight, and then they ended up telling us that the fight was going to be in Vegas, so it was like perfect for us. So we were just training out there. We trained about 9 weeks in Vegas, got the best training. I had the best training camp. I can't blame nothing on the training camp. My training camp was great. It's just a few injuries I had during the fight that had me set back.
Do you think that's going to be something you do going forward? Like, how did you like that element of just kind of getting away, going?
I loved it. I actually do love, I love getting away too. I love just being, isolated and being with, just people that's on the same mission that I'm on. So I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed camp.
I do like the fact that you said that the response has been more positive for you with that fight, because it was an absolute entertaining war. You were fantastic in it to see. It was
like David and Goliath, just going at it.
First of all, it's crazy. I don't understand how he makes that weight. That's
crazy.
That's like how was that, like, just adjusting to it, going into it and seeing a guy of that size and that stature, like.
Yeah, I mean his defense. If his defense wasn't too savvy, too crazy for me, so I was able to hit him, and it was just like. It was different because he kept coming forward too, and I was just like, what, I gotta keep adjusting. Like my mind was on 1,000 as I was fighting him. My mind on 1,000, but we gave the fans what they want. It was a great fight. Yeah. I watched it, and I watched it with no commentary. I had the volume on 0. Just watched the fight, and we was just going back and forth. It was rumbling. It was a great fight.
Man. I'm a fight fan for boxing and MMA, and I feel like with MMA. fans are just so much more forgiving of like losses. Like it's just like we just want entertaining fights. We want these guys to fight. I want more people to be like you, where they're not protected, that they do go fight the best. And then if you take a loss, if it's a great fight, who cares? Like you should be still among, like, rankings should stay right there. It should just be risen, because that's what it's all about. I don't want to see guys going and fighting guys that they'll smoke because hey, that guy was good 10 years ago. Like that's the thing that I really respect about what you've done, man. Is and I do think that you're going to be right there for a championship.
But you know what, man? You know, it's funny you say that, because I'm not okay with losing. I'm not okay with losing. You know, it hurts me. Like, I go back and I just sit there and be like, damn, man, I lost. Like, I feel f***ed up about it. But you know, I know where I'm supposed to be at. You know, I know I'm supposed to be on the top of this division, so I'm just gonna keep going until I get there. I know I'm supposed to be world champion, undisputed world champion, one of the best in boxing. So, you know, I want to keep showing it. I want to fight the best guys and keep beating the best guys. Because prior to this, they had me fighting, you know, elimination after elimination with the WBC.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just.
Do you have what the roadmap's going to be coming up? Like, do you have any idea? Have you heard from anybody about what is next for you, or when you plan on being back, or what that next, because you say you don't want to tune up. Like, do you hope that it will be a rematch? Do you think that, you know, it'll be something that can get you right back in there?
I'll fight anybody. I know my handlers, they you know, they're moving me the right way. You know, I'm with Al Heyman and PBC. They're moving me the right way, the correct way. And, you know, whoever they put me in against, you know, it'll be the right fight for me, and it'll be, you know, something that is definitely worthwhile, and something that's gonna, you know, improve my career and put me in a great position. So I don't know what exactly is gonna be next, but I know I'll be back at the end of this year.
Al Heyman, this guy's like the man of mystery. What's it like? What's this Al Heyman like behind the scenes? Because it's like everybody knows he's kind of like the puppet master. He rolls. He's got the best stable, but like, he's not a very guy. He doesn't like, very shocking in boxing. Yeah, isn't all out there in front for everybody to see. Like, what is what is it when you meet Al Heyman, when you get signed by Al Heyman? What was that whole situation like?
Well, not too many people get to see Al, but you know, it was what I thought it would be. You know, I knew what type of guy he was, and you know, I spoke to Al. I've seen Al. I've, you know, had conversations with Al, and you know, he's about his business.
So you're going to the fight this weekend, Gervonta Davis, Rolly Romero. What do you think of this matchup coming up this weekend? Who do you think pulls it out?
I think Tank pulls it out, but you know, Rolly's strong. He's strong. He's real strong, and you know, he's a little loony. So he's gonna come to fight, right? What you think?
I think Gervonta is gonna win, but I think
Tank stops him. I think Tank stops him, actually.
I think I like the fact that, you know,
but
when
first couple rounds are gonna be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I like the fact that, you know, I think, you know, you fight a guy like Tank, it feels like you need a little bit of crazy. Like, you want to try and maybe get him out of his element a little bit. I feel like that's a smart game plan. Right. Plus, you know, he was supposed to have the fight already, so I'm sure he's been jonesing to get this one going for a long time. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun one, man. I can't wait for fight week. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what all the antics will be and things like that. Yeah, and seeing what he tries to do to push Tank's buttons. Yeah. You know, I think that's gonna be a fun watch for it.
When's the press conference? Today or tomorrow?
Yeah, it should be probably tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. So it should be interesting to see what goes on there, the stare downs, all that type of stuff. I love that stuff. Yeah. See, I always tell people, I love fights.
That's the psychological part of the game.
Yeah, I like almost fight press conferences and fight shenanigans as much as fights, though. Like, I love seeing like what you guys will do to try and to push buttons, how the stare downs go. I love all of that stuff.
You know what I do? I don't when I'm staring them down, I don't look away first. If we got to be there all day, I'm gonna be right there. Yeah, just not looking away. I wait for my opponent to look away, and then I'm like, all right, he broke.
Yeah, you feel like that's a mental edge, right? Like,
yeah,
as far as we're talking like mental stuff, like you feel like that stuff matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it does too. I think that's always the fun, the fight before the fight. I think that stuff's interesting to check out. There's another one I'm excited about next week in Australia, George Kambosos and Devin Haney. Yeah. I'm excited that this is the matchup that ended up happening, because it was going to be Lomachenko before the Ukraine thing happened. He wasn't able to do it. But I like the fact that, like, again, two guys who are young, like, cool to fight Lomachenko, and he's had his time, and I still think, like, he's one of the best on the planet. But I like the fact that Devin is getting his crack at the championship, and I love the fact that George, who went and got the championship, is fight. Like, I like the fact they're both going and fighting each other right away. I like it, and I think it's fun. Like, Devin's got, all the slickness to him. And George, he's a little bit crazy too. Like he throws a lot of punches. Do you have a thought on how that one will go down?
The best fighting the best, and that's why I enjoy about the 154-pound division and the 135-pound division. With this next this fight coming up next week, I got Devin Haney, man. I think Devin Haney's he's a great fighter. He could box. He don't get hit, and he's strong. I think he's strong. I think he's getting stronger too. He's real young.
Yeah,
he's real young, and he's on fire.
I think he's I like George a lot because I've done a lot.
George
of stuff
Kambosos is nobody to sleep on though.
Yeah, you never know because he can crack. Like it's like and you don't think it because of his size, but. And he's a little bit. He's one of those guys mentally too. Like, like I try and play around sometimes in my interviews, and George is like not one to play around with.
Yeah,
he's just like, I'm not here for your jokes. Like, all right, man. But,
I'm excited about Teofimo coming back too.
Yeah,
I'm excited about him coming back.
That is a fun division, man. And like you said, your division is popping too. And I really it really is a pleasure to watch you fight. Like that's the one thing. Like I know when I'm watching Erickson Lubin fight, it's going to be entertaining as hell. You know that he's gonna be absolutely entertaining, and we know that we're seeing a guy who's super skilled and championship quality as well.
Thank you, man. I
appreciate you coming in, man. Do you have anything else you want to let the people know about as far as things you got going on or whatnot?
Nah, not much. Just I'll be back. I'll be back at the end of this year. Be back on Showtime. Be back in a big fight. Giving the fans what they want. And, we'll be world champion. I'll be world champion at the end of this year or early next year.
We appreciate the time, man. Erickson Lubin joining us here in studio. We appreciate the time from him, and we'll be back after this.